Hi guys! So, it's been a few days since Married at First Sight aired, and this is not a review of Married at First Sight. This is just an observation discussion if you're interested in discussing it. So, on this past week's episode, there were, the couples were, the episode was something about feelings. I might be getting feelings, like Jose and Rachel were fighting and then they made up, which is like, was this a real makeup or was this a production forced makeup? But that's not what we're here for. We're not here to talk about Lil Jose and his insecurities and his fake apology to Rachel and Rachel accepting him back. And we're not here to talk about Zach and Michaela and their salsa date bomb where Michaela did not want to learn salsa dancing, which could have really increased their intimacy level, but she wasn't here for it, so she put the kibosh on that. And we're not even here to talk about how Mira and Gil actually made some headway, and Gil got a kiss. He got a kiss. But I've said this from maybe week 3 or 4, because at first Mira, I'm like, she ain't into him, but she is into him. And the sure way of knowing that Mira is into Gil is what leads me to the next discussion of Ryan and Brett. Mira gives signs, though she says, I don't want any kissing. I'm not going to kiss you until I'm ready. I'm not going to get physical with you until I'm ready. I'm not going to do too much until I'm ready. But one thing Mira does do is she makes it a little bit known that she's interested in him. She doesn't give too much. She might give a little bit and pull a little bit back. Give a little bit and pull a little bit back. And that's what Mira does. And I think because Mira does that, Gil keeps trying. But if Mira was just a stone wall the entire time, the way they were originally setting her up to be, Gil wouldn't try. But Mira does little things to let Gil know that, hey, you can keep trying. You can keep trying, because Mira often leans in and she might tap him or touch him. Mira lets him know that she's interested. So that leads me to Ryan and Brett. Now, I've read so many different threads and comments, and I've even been on a live chat where this was a discussion. People were saying Ryan is not into her because he's not attracted to her. Well, we don't know that. Ryan hasn't said that. But what can be said about Ryan and Brett is Brett doesn't give him anything. Brett might do things like she might eat breakfast with him. They might have great discussions. But as far as sexual energy, Brett doesn't give him that. Brett gives nothing. And go back to what I said about Gil and Mira. Though Mira is saying no kisses, no kisses, no kisses, no hug, but Gilla, whatever we're going to call it. Mira is giving him something. She's leaning in. She's tapping him. She's hugging on his arm to let him know, wait, you can keep trying. And that's what Brett doesn't do. Brett and Ryan are this far apart. If they give a hug, it's like a buddy hug. Because, people think that, well, Brett is a homegirl. She gives off homegirl energy. And that I can relate to. Throughout my many years, I've been single a whole lot of my life, and I've often wondered why. I'm like, why am I single? I think I'm attractive. I'm cute, whatever. Why don't men gravitate to me like they gravitate to her, who I don't find her that attractive? What do they find so attractive about this girl? What's wrong with me? It's really that. It's simple. I give off homegirl energy. I talk about hip hop, I talk about movies, I talk about a lot of things, but that's not what men want out of a woman initially. They want a sexual connection. And though we develop ourselves in these great beings, we're well-rounded, we're well-traveled, we have good careers, we have good credit, we can talk about many things. But that's not what men initially are interested in. It's a sexual energy connection. And that's what Brett is not giving Ryan. Brett just doesn't do it. She hasn't tapped into that feminine energy. And I could say that the same thing about myself. I am very feminine. People have made fun of the way I walk because I walk so girly. I walk like this. Boom, 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 boom. Someone's called me Betty Boop before. But notice, this was all women who said this. This wasn't... Men don't say this thing. Some men, I'll take that back. A lot of men have said, why do you walk like that? Why do you walk like you on a runway? They've said that to me. But the thing is, I've often been the homegirl, which puts you in a bad position because you're so cool, but you're not giving off that sexual energy. Therefore, they're going to go to the next girl who may not even be that cool or as interesting as you, or as fun as you, as smart as you, or even as cute as you. But she's giving off that sexual energy, that vibe that they're looking for. And that's what Brett's doing. Brett's not doing it. I mean, that's what Brett's not doing. Brett is not tapped in to her feminine energy. She's not using her feminine wiles that men love. Man, like, I never forget. I was just sitting at my desk and some dude came up to my desk asking for something. And I was just doing this. And he was like, well, hello. Like, just dumb, simple-ish like that. Like, turns a guy on in a weird way. Like, just run your fingers through your hair. Like, dumb shit like that. And I hope by me saying shit doesn't get me striked on YouTube. But whatever. Just dumb things like that. Like leaning in. And leaning back. And leaning in. Like, I mean, you don't have to go overboard and twerk. Because that's kind of a turn off to a lot of men too. But just reading the room. And that's what Brett's not doing. Mila's doing a good job at it because Gil keeps trying. And guess what? Gil got that kiss. And also, that could be said for Bao and Johnny. Like, Bao is so analytical. And so is Johnny. Johnny's that way too. Because I was checked on it live last night. Johnny is that way too. Johnny, they're pretty much a mirror of each other. However, Johnny doesn't want a mirror of himself in a woman. He wants someone who makes him feel like a man, who makes him feel like I'm the greatest. Not from a spreadsheet like Bao. Bao's a walking, talking spreadsheet. She's going like they did like Johnny referenced a painting that they were doing together, and like Bao wanted it to be perfect versus just wanting to like connect with Johnny. She was like there for the assignment. Like, she's that student. I got to measure up. I got to be the best. But she has missed the mark. Like, she thinks, I cooked for him. I made all these gourmet meals for him. Although Johnny says she made one meal. And then they edited in a clip of her like, I ate your salad. And so, but at the same time, if we're looking at it as for face value, Johnny doesn't like that kitty energy that Bao gives off, which I think is unfair, but maybe Bao just isn't your woman. And I think that's what's not being said on the show, is that they don't necessarily like these people. They're not into these people. They're into being on this show, and maybe they're being pushed by production to keep these relationships going, because in ordinary circumstances, most of them would have been out. But since they signed up for Married at First Sight, they have to stick to it. They have to be tenacious and stick to it for at least 2 months. Because Johnny, who is the app king, dating app king, would have been out. And we know how dating apps go. It's swipe, swipe, swipe. The minute they see something wrong that they don't like, they're swiping, looking for the next best thing. That's why I don't like dating apps, although I'm on them. I just don't like them because it's like, next best thing, next best thing, next best thing. And so Johnny and Bao have a disconnect, but I feel like it could be a simple fix, although I feel like Johnny's already had both feet out the door, especially the way he was tearing up those roses. Like, I mean, all these people seem to have some, with the exception of Mira and Gil and Ryan. I feel like the rest of them have some real, true issues that they need to settle before they're even considering marriage, but yet they're already married. So go figure. Anyhow, like and subscribe and tell me your thoughts. Do you think that Brett gives off homegirl energy, and can she turn it around? Like, do they need to have an honest discussion, or should they just cut their losses and end it on decision day? Let me know your thoughts. Like and subscribe.